Hello, welcome to Voice of Collins YouTube channel, and today we're going to be solving the January contest Silver 2018 problem 2 rental service. So for this problem, it reads, Farmer John realizes that the income he receives from milk production is insufficient to fund the growth of his farm. So to earn some extra money, he launches a cow rental service which he calls USACO. Farmer John has N cows, each capable of producing some amount of milk every day. The M stores near Farmer John's farm each offer to buy a certain amount of milk at a certain price. Moreover, Farmer John's R neighboring farmers are each interested in renting a cow at a certain price. Farmer John has to choose whether each cow should be milked or rented to a nearby farmer. Help him find the maximum amount of money he can make per day. So if you read the input format, you can read that the first line of the code contains the variables N, M, and R. And N, as said here, says that it's the amount of cows and each capable of producing some amount of milk every day. And M here are the stores near Farmer John. And that means that there's going to be certain stores that want to buy his milk at a certain price. But in this case, because we're trying to find the maximum amount of money, we will want to sell our milk at the highest price. And then we have R, which is the R neighboring farmers, which means that we want to rent out to the highest price as well. But in this case, we will probably want to rent out the lowest milk producing cow to them because we want to sell the most amount of milks to the stores. So if you go further on the sample input, we can see that the next 5 lines are the amount of milk each cow produces. So write this milk. And next we see the next 3 lines are the stores. So we'll label them as stores. And here you can see that they need 10 gallons and they're willing to pay at a price of 25 cents. Here you can see that the next store wants to buy 2 gallons at the price of 10 cents. And the next store also wants to buy 15 gallons but at a price of 15 cents. So in this case, we'll probably sell our 6 gallons to the highest selling store, which is the 25-cent store. And we will sell this next most amount. Oh, I'm sorry. It wasn't 6 that was the most. It was 7 that is the most. So first we'll sell 7 of our milk to the most buying store, the highest price store. That means that here, I'll draw a graph real quick. So 1, 2, 4, 6, 7. So this is the amount of milk each cow is producing, right? And we want to write 250, 100, 80, and 40. So if you look here, so 7, the amount of milk the highest milk producing cow is 7. And we want to multiply that by 25, which is 175. So we see that if we sell all of our milk to the highest paying store, we gain 175 cents, which is more than what we would rent here. So we can get rid of this. Here you can see that the second most producing milk cow is 6 gallons. And we want to sell that to the highest selling store. And we can see here that we still haven't sold 10 gallons to the highest paying store. So if we do 3 times 25, we get 75. And then the next 3 will go to the 15-cent store, which means it's going to buy it at 45 cents, which means that it's 120 cents. Is that right? Yes, it is. And if you look at here, 120 cents is greater than 80 cents, so we're not going to be renting out that cow to the farmer. Next, we can try to look at the 4 here. And as we can see, we sell the 4 gallons to this store here because we still haven't fulfilled their request. So we multiply 4 times 15, which is 60. Here again, 30, and here again, 50. If you look here, we can see that 15 and 30, they produce very little milk. They produce very little revenue. So we can get rid of these and assign these two to these cows so that we don't have to waste money we don't lose money by renting out cows that produce more milk to other farmers. So if we add them all up, first let's group them together so that it's easier on us. So it's 350, this is 295. If we add them again, oh, we forgot 60, my bad. We get 645, I'm guessing, and 645, 705, which is incorrect. Let's see if I made a mistake somewhere. Let's see. I don't think I made a mistake yet. Oh, I see. Okay, so here. We're not adding 60, but we're actually adding 80. This is because selling the milk for 60 cents is, well, obviously less than renting out for 80. So if we can't use 80, so we take this, put it here. So we got 645 plus 80, which equals to 725. So that is our final answer using the sample input. So now let's go look at our code. And it popped up. All right, so as you can see here, we want, because we're using outside, for example here, look. So we need to use a comparable here. And this is because we want to create our own, I guess, type of variable, like our personal array, using our personal variable. Now, pair of variables are gallons and price. It's sort of like using a tree map, except we're making it so that it's a bit faster. And, well, don't quote me on if it's faster or not. This is the way I did it. So if you look at here, we're comparing gallons and price, right? So first we're comparing, well, we have gallons and price. So here we're comparing prices of different arrays when we sort them. So if we sort an array with the mart, that means that it will sort according to price. So if we see here, right here, if A is less than B, then return 1, which means it's less than, and if A is greater than B, return -1. So we're trying to make it so that we're trying to find the most amount of, we're trying to sell it so that, we're trying to sort it so that the highest price is up front. So that when we try to finding the maximum price, we can find that much more easily. So if we go back up top, we can see that we start off with our buffer reader and print writer. This is the outdated version. Right now it's different, but in this 2018 problem, we will have to use buffer reader and print writer. Next, we have a string tokenizer so that we can take in these three variables, and we can see that we take them in, and make sure you integer.parseInt because they take in as strings. And we want to create a variable amount milk here that we've done up top so that we can create a variable and make sure it's long. In the problem, it said that you would need to use a long because it's over 1 million. The number is over 1 million, and the maximum amount of digits that the integer can hold is 9. So long, you would have to use long in this scenario. And as I commented here we are storing and sorting cows and gallons produced. And then next we see that we're sorting and storing stores by highest amount of money. And we can see that we use string tokenizer to take in the gallons and price. So remember the first line, for example, this was the gallons and this was price. So we take those in and then sort them according to price, not gallons, because we want the highest in front. And so that when we do arrays.sort, it automatically does that for us much more easily. We don't have to manually sort them or have to reverse them. We can just say, oh, I want the highest one on top. So that's what we've done here at the bottom. And if we keep scrolling down, we store rent, resort and store it. But in this case, we want to go to the highest renter. But then because arrays.sort goes from the 0 to infinity, so it goes from lowest to highest, we have to flip them so in this case, we only need to go halfway because even if the middle one was there, we won't have to flip these two variables. So for example, 1, 2, 5, 8, 10. If we have to sort this, then for example, if 1 was over here and 8 was over there, 2, 5, 10. So if we see here, because oh, my bad. Let's see, let me get the eraser real quick. There we go. And so we will need to reverse sort this. So we're just going up to the halfway point, rent 2 divided by 2. And we only need to go up to here because if we sort, we go 1, 10, swap. And then 2, 6, 8, swap. And 5 is just there, it's because it's in the middle, because it's already sorted. So we don't have to go through the pain of trying to sort that. Sorry for the jump here. So we have long current. This is our placeholder for a result. And we do current plus equals rent I all the way up to the lowest point, which would be rent here. And we do this first so that we can just add up everything we have. And in the second part, we'll start subtracting. So for here, int j, the reason we have j here is trying to move on to the next store. So if you use it all up, and you'll see later on, and if cows is greater than rent, then we start with long gallons equals 0, because we're trying to find the amount of gallons we have. And for all of from rent I equals rent to I is greater than cows, or less than cows, sorry, we add up all the gallons. And while gallons is greater than 0 and store is less than that, j is less than store because we don't want to reach the limit. And we look here and we see that if gallons is greater than store, set j gallons. And here we're trying to find if the total gallons is greater than store. And if it is, then we just do total as we did below. Below we had the dot total, which gives us the whole entire price that the store is willing to pay. So remember that 10 and 25 store, they're willing to give 250 cents they're willing to pay 250 cents for 10 gallons of milk. So we subtract that from gallons, and stores equals I dot gallons equal to 0 because they don't need it anymore. And we go into the next store. But if, and this is only if we are this part of the code is not satisfied. So if gallons is actually less than stores, then we only get the ones that we want, or we only sell the remaining we have in the stores that they only need. Then we pass on current to result or res here. And then if J is less than store, which means we haven't gone through all the stores, that means there were some, then we're taking out the anything inside. So as we can see, if the last rent will be our rent minus 1 or cows minus 1, whether or not cows is greater than or equal to rent. So if cows is greater than or equal to rent, then rent minus 1. If not, then cows minus 1. So while last rent is greater than or equal to 0 and J is less than store, then current will be subtracted with rent last rent, because we're trying to only find if, because we don't want to over add. Right now, over adding right now. So we're trying to under add. We're trying to subtract the over adding. And long gallons is equal to amount of milk of last rent. And then while gallons is greater than 0 and J is less than store, then gallon, and we use the if statement, gallons is greater than store like gallons. Then we also again use that same situation with total. We add up, and else current plus equals gallons, or because like if we have less gallons than the store is requesting, then we only give them what we have. And the result would be math.max result, because we're actually trying to find the maximum and then last rent. So start of my explanation is kind of sketchy. I'm not very good at explaining my code. I can do everything in my head, but then explaining is a different matter. So now that I can sort of explain it better. So remember the question, the sample input? Hold on a second. Okay, so remember the 1, 2, 4, 6, 7, and then the I guess the prices we had. So 7 times 25 would be again 175. This was 120. 4 was 60. 2 was 30, and 1 was 15. And then the rent would be 250, 80, no, whoops, not 80, 180, and 40. So what we've done right now is we added all this up and we stopped right here, right? So, and then we slowly go by one. So as we go on, so we include 120, right? That means we have to get rid of 40 now. And then we include 60. That means you exclude 80. And we include 30, we exclude 100. We include 50, we exclude 250. So we're going through step by step, trying to find the maximum here. And that's what we've done here in the second part of the code, or second part of the computation right here. Is this part is the part where we slowly shift through, trying to find the maximum. Well, here, we set it up like before with 15, 30, 60, 120, 175, and with the 250, 100, 80, and 40. If rent was greater, then we will keep going. If in this case, number of cows is greater than the amount of farmers that want to rent. But then, for example, if there's more farmers that willing to rent, so 30, 20, 10, we would have all this rented out, right? And because cows is not greater than rent, we'll just skip that past that and we'll come here. Res is still 0. And then we would slowly cancel these out. Right? And then, oh, we have another one. So we use this. Then we keep going. Oh, we have another one. We use this. Oh, we have another one. We use this. We have, oh, we have another one. We add that. Oh, we have another one. We add that. But as we add each one along, we're trying to find the maximum as set here, math.max right here. And we keep going until we go through the list and we find the max. Hopefully this has been helpful. I'm sorry about the very sketchy explanation, but hopefully this helps. If you have any questions, you can comment down below and we'll try to contact as soon as possible. And thank you.